This week one NFL recap and Monday Night Football props edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner on picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer? Dog.
Well, we both have a little bit of the Vegas voice, but I imagine we are riding high right now, coming off of amazing Sunday Night Football game.
Honestly, it probably my Vegas-y voice wasn't that bad until Sunday night happened. We were live hanging out in the Circa. We just walked over, got some food at Saginaw's, had a nice spot at the overhang bar to watch the game. Kramer starts off hitting Dalton Kincaid first touchdown. That was a great smash. The Bills get out to a nice 7-0 lead, already counting it as a victory. All right. Help recoup from some of the other plays that didn't go the way earlier in the day. And then this Bills defense just could not get a stop to save their life. Now the offense keeps answering for the Bills. Kramer and I, when the live number popped up at plus 410, I sprinted over to the kiosk, got in live on Bills money line at plus 410. That was awesome. Kramer, I know you both you and CJ, man of the box, even though he was on the Ravens, when the 1150 showed up live, you got down on it. I know CJ did as well. I was like, I got so much already on this Bills game. I'm good. And then what a crazy epic way to finish. And I said to you, Ryan, when we were walking over here, walking back from watching the game, I think if the Bills actually get that last 2-point conversion to tie the game at 40, I don't think they win the game, because I think if it's tied 40-40, the Ravens are running, they're passing, they're running their hurry up offense that the Bills could not stop to save their life. Instead, they play super conservative. They throw on third down, but they throw short of the sticks. Madden would be rolling over in his grave if he saw that. And then as soon as the Bills got the ball back, you knew they were going to get it done. I mean, Kramer, walk us through your congrats on the first touchdown. What's happening?
I mean, dangerously close all weekend. I mean, the Jalen Hurts first touchdown failed to come in, but he was the first touchdown. I had that, of course, parlayed to Patrick Mahomes, who was not the first touchdown in the game, but the first touchdown for the Chiefs.
We hit the team first touchdowns. Unfortunately, we needed the game first touchdowns.
And so, just feeling pretty locked in. And then Sunday happens. You know, we can gloss it. We'll talk about that later. But, just saw you sprint over to the kiosk. So then I followed because I was like, what's going on here? I see what you're up to. I take it. I then bump into a couple guys where Noops and a couple other guys, and they're like, what'd you do? Took the money line plus 410. They're like, it's 430 now. I'm in too. And so we just this cascading effect. And then later on, I decided I was going to go downstairs to just actually take a picture to put up to like promote the show tonight. And then the live line pops up at plus 1150 or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I put a half of what I had put on the first live bet, and just unbelievable. And cut to the first half when I was getting a little antsy. I did the degenerate thing and disappeared, went downstairs to the NFL slot and hit a massive. I mean, rarely am I at the slot for like 5 minutes. I was at the slot for 5 minutes. And as CJ would say, I banked a nice little $2,500 hand pay.
Yeah, no, it was, just crazy run there Sunday night. And, oh God, our buddy who's a listener here locally, Big Cat, saw him at we were watching games. I wasn't feeling for him that bad because I was on the Bills and I was winning a bunch of money, but he's a huge Ravens fan. So, I mean, if we got Ravens fans in the chat, I mean, Ryan, if you're a Ravens fan and you're mad at who are you mad at? Harbaugh for some of the play calling? I mean, Derrick Henry for the fumble. Oh, and Kramer, I forgot all-time mental gymnastics by me. When after the Bills scored the touchdown, they kick it off, and I go to Kramer and CJ. I go, kind of weird. There's been 0 turnovers in this game, and CJ goes, "I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Green. Don't get that out of here. Oh, you son of a bitch." And then Derrick Henry, fumbles the next play. Like I said it on the kickoff, fumbles the next play, and I'm just laughing my ass off. And poor CJ was steamed. I mean, I would be losing my shit if I was on the Ravens. I mean, going into that game, the game I was probably most pissed about was the Falcons. The way that thing ended, the way Sean Payton handled that last situation there, and of course, we always do. We're in Vegas, so we can't take calls, but normally, Ryan, we do like to shove someone in a locker. I think Sean Payton might have been shoved in a locker. I'm sure if you're a Ravens backer, you're tossing Harbaugh in there because, man, how did they lose that game? It was so weird because you kept looking at the score and I go, what, the Bills 7-1 to win at home? I get it. They're down 7 points, but they just kept hanging around. I'm just remembering some of these plays, like the deflected touchdown that Dalton Kincaid randomly put his arm up and then bounced right in there. It might be the Bills' year.
Quick note on that, because it took so many weird events. Like you said, missing the 2-point conversion causes them to be conservative. Keon Coleman getting tripped up at the 5-yard or the 10-yard line.
That's the other thing too. Like, if he scores, if they don't reach out and trip his legs, if he scores there, I mean, they're up what, 5 if they kick the extra point or whatever. And then
you go for 2 there because you want to make it 6.
Yeah,
you want to make them force. But I mean,
whatever. I mean, don't you like the Ravens' chances? The Bills didn't stop them all game. Like, if I, as a Bills backer, that was perfect.
Well, and to your point,
immediately I go, oh damn it, and then Kramer goes, no, this is good. This is what we want. And then they were able to run it down. I was a little nervous with that last kneel down to totally bleed the clock, which I think they played it right, but you're running on the kicker team. Shout out to Prater, who is doing the smelling salts, the decaf nose beers right before he's about to kick the field goal. I'm like, oh my God, these smelling salts come back to haunt us. And then I don't know if did you see the still shots, Ryan, of like Kyle Hamilton? He may have gotten a little finger on it. He was certainly close to getting an outright block. Watching it live, it felt like there was some contact with the ball, but they were so close, it still got in. Man, just what a fucking game.
I believe I don't have this nugget in front of me, but I believe the last time this happened for the Bills was against the Jets in the 60s in terms of coming back 15 points in the fourth quarter. 22-6, they outscored them in the fourth quarter. I certainly think taking the ball out of Lamar's hand is just horrible. If they know you're not as dangerous if the running play is definitely coming. That weird, jet sweep play was ridiculous. But here, when you want to hear a crazy stat, teams with 40 points and 235 rushing yards in a game,
oh man, yeah,
were 277-0 before tonight.
Yeah, but then also too, like. It was crazy, but then you also saw it coming a mile away where you're like, man, this Ravens team can't stop them. They can't slow them down. Kyle Hamilton gets that weird hand injury. I don't know. I mean, if I'm a Ravens fan, I am so pissed off at Harbaugh, just the way he managed that game. And I think being super letting Lamar throw on third down, fine. But I am telling him, don't throw short of the sticks. The whole reason we're letting you throw is so that you can get the first down and end the game. There was just a bunch of Missed things off review. It was a wild ass game. I mean, it was great. It was a great way to end NFL Week 1. Sunday, of course, we got Monday night props.
Real quick, Sean. I got one more nugget for you. John Harbaugh, who of course part of the Andy Reid coaching tree, was a special teams coach. We all remember that. John Harbaugh has now lost 8 times after leading by double digits in the fourth quarter. This ties him with Andy Reid for the most for any coach since 1991.
Insane.
And if you look at the list of like coaches with the most blown fourth quarter leads, it's like Harbaugh and Kyle Shanahan are right up on that list. So at some point it does become a thing. But man, you can't get. How do you only score 6 points in the fourth quarter? They were just doing whatever they want. So yeah, I mean, historic back-to-back years too. We're talking about the Ravens in a situation. We were talking about this when they were winning. It's like, boy, they have a similar spot week 2 in Survivor. They're going to be laying big points against the Browns, and now they're literally in the same scenario, coming off a primetime loss that everyone watched. Now laying a big number at home, my God, I would stay away from them in Survivor.
Amy in the chat saying, easy to say in hindsight, but if you were the Ravens, Ryan, do you go for that 4th down and try to end the game? What was it, like 4th and 2?
So yeah, I mean, I think a couple of things. One, I think the play calling was really bad. I don't think you try to run the clock out. I think you let Lamar do his thing and get the first down.
I mean, the fact that, again, if the Bills get the 2 point, it's tied, that you're seeing the hurry up offense for that Ravens team. Xavier Worthy's running all over the field. Derrick Henry. So I guess on 4th and 2, oh man, that's a tough one because you're still on your own side of the ball. But yeah, I think you called it when we were discussing it. 3rd down to me would have been a designed Lamar Jackson run, or whatever, drop him back, have him scramble around. They were not able to slow him down on the ground at all. I would have ran Lamar Jackson twice on 3rd down, and then if it was 4th and 2. Yeah, give me Lamar, boot action, whatever. And that was the other frustrating thing. Like, some of the Bills' 2-point plays were just asinine. Keon Coleman, like, one-on-one. He's not a jump ball receiver. You have Josh Allen. And how hilarious is it that how are the Eagles the only team that knows how to convert a quarterback sneak? I mean, how many times did Josh Allen get rejected on sneaks? Now, maybe it ended up helping them because it bled a bunch of time off the clock there. But how you have Josh Allen? He's a giant, tall, strong dude. How is he so bad at quarterback sneaks?
Russ was 3 for 3 on those today. So
Oh, a rare bright spot for the Giants. All right. Hey, of course, we're going to recap all the winners, all the losers, and then close things out with our favorite Monday night props, including first touchdown bets. And Kramer's coming off a little heater, hitting on Dalton Kincaid there. First game, and we talked about this a little bit on the VSiN show, but Eagles get the win, don't get the cover at home against the Cowboys. Spitgate was a big talking point past few days. Hey, if you're going to spit on someone, it should be Dak Prescott. That's my takeaway. Eagles, it's not always pretty with this Eagles team, but Jalen Hurts, again, now 15 games in a row where he starts and ends the game, the Eagles win. And that includes the playoffs. That includes the Super Bowl. Like, I feel confident in this team to get wins with Jalen Hurts at the helm. I don't think A.J. Brown was fully healthy. That's why I don't think he was involved as much as they wanted to be. Obviously, not having Jalen Carter for that game certainly swings things. I don't know. It's interesting where, the Eagles are now 1.5 point favorites at Kansas City next week. They were 1.5 point dogs. We'll see where that spread ends up going. I kind of don't think Jalen Carter gets suspended / hopeful. I mean, in his defense, he did essentially serve a 1-game suspension that night. I think that should factor in to his penalty. But Ryan, any big takeaways on this Cowboys team and or Eagles?
You want some time served on that punishment? It does sound like he's going to get suspended a game.
That to me is bullshit. I mean, one, Dak spit at him. He returned the favor, and I don't think he should be punished for being a more accurate spitter than Dak Prescott.
Dak was like 10 yards away from him. I mean, I get what you're saying. You saw him spit first, but it was he was spitting at the ground, nowhere near.
Well, clearly,
nowhere near Jalen Carter.
Oh, so you're defending Dak now, Ryan? Clearly,
no, I'm saying that Jalen Carter. This is what the mental immaturity was the problem with Jalen Carter. That was the red flag. And this was like, first of all, why are you on that side of the ball? Why are you walking up to the Cowboys huddle? I mean, in general, I would say honor of the game shit. Like, you should get on your side. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And so, yeah, I mean, the suspension would be ridiculous. But obviously, they called like 4 flex, like unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. So I certainly think they're going to send a message here. And based on what I've been reading, it sounds like we're going to find out tomorrow or Tuesday. But it's almost certainly going to lead to a suspension. So as far as the game, you know, in hindsight of watching the entire week, it was one of the, I don't want to say cleaner games, but it was one of the, you know, both teams were ready to play week 1. And CeeDee Lamb makes a couple of those catches, and there are a lot of people who burned a $100,000 Grandissimo entry on the Eagles and Survivor.
Yeah, a lot of people were on the Eagles in the Grandissimo.
Also, Sean, let me ask you this.
Yes.
In your life, has it ever crossed your mind to spit on someone else?
No.
That's
I'm not a
problem
maniac.
with this.
No, but Jalen Carter's a maniac. He's a crazy person. That's exactly who I want being my defensive tackle. Some crazy son of a bitch.
But in some ways, punching someone or like tackling, like that's almost better or like less
You're
offensive.
Thinking about it logically. You're thinking about it. He was in the moment. They just, raised the banner. It's opening night. You're going up against your hated rivals. The place is going nuts.
Well, first of all, the team was in the locker room for the banner raising. They didn't care about it. They didn't even know about it. Secondly, I'm just making the point that I've been in irrational moments in my life. I've never said I'm going to spit on you.
Well, again, he thought
that's something a vagrant does. That's something that
a vagrant like Dak Prescott. He thought Dak was spitting on him, so his response was to spit back. There's never been another Jalen Carter spitting incident. It's not like Mortal Kombat and he's Scorpio or Sub-Zero and his go-to move is spitting on people. He thought he got spit on, so he spit on him back.
That's right. It's a bitch move. Like, that's the bottom line here. So suspend him 1 game for being a bitch.
No. Well, then how long does Dak get?
Well, if they're going to suspend him for, unrelated to spitting, he should be out of lifetime suspension.
Okay. 27-21. The Chargers get it done, get the win outright as a dog. I thought the Chiefs would show up here. I mean, I guess the Chiefs offensive stuff, none of that was surprising. Again, you want to talk about frustrating beat as a guy who is, I thought Xavier Worthy could have a big game. I'm high on Xavier Worthy season long. And then he fucking runs into Travis Kelce on like the second play. And shout out to Underdog who rescued our entry there. So appreciate that, Underdog, promo code SGPN. But yeah, I guess to me, and shout out to Herbert. I will give Herbert his full kudos when he does it in the playoffs. He's had some nice moments in the regular season. I still don't think he's a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, but he played a very good game against the Chiefs defense that I thought was good. But now, I mean, considering what the Eagles did to them, destroyed them, and how suspect they looked, I don't know. Like, if Xavier Worthy gets healthy, they get Rashee Rice back, I'm not super worried about the offense. But the defense, I think, is pretty concerning. What was your takeaways, Ryan?
Herbert looked good.
He did. He looked good. He played well. Their offense moved the ball well. Keenan Allen, I think, was a big difference to Herbert. Like, he's just a layup.
Yeah, he gets open. They have chemistry. It's a safety blanket. As far as I have a player safety comment, actually. Like, the league's so concerned about player safety, they should stop letting these receivers wear no pads. I mean, to get, like, again, we're, theme being bitches, right? Jalen Carter, game 1, game 2. I mean, I don't want to say that this is soft because he got injured, but I mean, you run into your own teammate, you're wearing football pads, and you still manage to pop your shoulder out. I mean, that sucks. Also sucks. I mean, I think in general now, the Chiefs might be very beatable until Rashee Rice returns. Because clearly, I mean, we didn't get to see Worthy, but clearly they need Rashee Rice. The other guys were getting involved. Hollywood Brown was like a revelation. I'm sure people who drafted him in fantasy are feeling pretty good right now.
Thornton, or sorry, who was the other Chiefs receiver that they were using?
You talking about Juju?
Oh no, well Juju was getting work. I mean, there was some. Oh yeah, Tyquan Thornton. He was getting like some deep stuff. I would have loved to see that offense with Xavier Worthy because I think he was a big part of it. And you saw them be more aggressive and taking some deep shots. But I am concerned about this defense moving forward. Next up, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers 34, Jets 32. Man, I mean, you want to talk about crazy outcomes. And for a while there, Steelers were the highest scoring team of the week until the Sunday night game just got bonkers. But a lot of that game was surprising. I was expecting like an ugly game, two defenses kind of struggling. Both teams want to run the ball, play efficient offense. And meanwhile, neither defense could get a stop. Justin Fields, 2 rushing touchdowns. Shout out to Justin Fields, currently tied for leader in the NFL with rushing touchdowns at 2. It's interesting because I do like a lot of what I saw to the Jets, but I got to be concerned about their defense, right? Like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, 4 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I think first time he did that since 2021.
And he tied Tom Brady for all-time lead in that with that stat, the 4 touchdowns, 0 interception games.
Yeah, I feel pretty good with my season-long takes. Obviously, it's only week 1 of both being optimistic about the Steelers and thinking that the Jets aren't going to be horrible, that they're going to go over their win total, that they're going to be feisty as a dog. They got the cover. I was going back and forth on that game and I think I even may have said that if there was one game where they win and don't cover, I would probably pick this game. I ended up sticking with the Steelers because I thought Tomlin ultimately could get it done. And they did. I mean, what was the field goal that they hit to win the game? It was like 61 yards.
Yeah, it was a like Boswell had a nice game.
Yeah.
Let me pull up his numbers. Yeah, because let's see. He's 60 yards.
Braylon Allen also got in the end zone. If you played along with any of our Braylon Allen rushing prop stuff, Garrett Wilson, they had legit chemistry. 7-95 and a touchdown.
Almost like they went to college together.
Yeah, I think if you're a Jets fan, cautiously optimistic, just looked a little more competent playing football. And Steelers, not the game flow I thought, but they get it done.
Yeah, I mean, crazy that this was the highest scoring game until the Sunday night game. Aaron Rodgers after the game was asked how it felt, or how it felt to win in the return to New York, and he said, "I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets," which not to say that he's petty, but they did kind of just kick him out. I don't know what to take out of this game because we kind of touched on this in the preseason, but Aaron Rodgers did finish 7th in passing touchdowns last year with 28. It wasn't like he was complete dust, and these were like vintage Aaron Rodgers touchdowns. There was a back shoulder in there. There was a throw where he was rolling out and kind of hit a nice flick of the wrist. He had that jump pass, which is like vintage Rodgers. So yeah, I mean, if they can figure out the defense too, I mean, the fact that they gave up all those points to Justin Fields, maybe they haven't fixed their run defense, but that and the offensive line issues for the Jets that we were so worried about. Granted, they showed up at times in the game, but they were able to put up 32 points here. And Justin Fields getting into the end zone with his legs clearly was being drafted too late in fantasy as well.
Yeah, I mean, best ball stuff. We've been hammering it, and we got a Ben Skoranek sighting.
Oh, first touchdown.
Terrell in the chat. Yeah, Terrell saying his anytime was 25 to 1.
Oh my God, stop.
So his first touchdown must have been like 100 to 1. Dick Puncher pointing out that Tomlin called the kicker a serial killer after the game. So classic.
Sean, he would know. He's gone against Justin Tucker for the past decade.
That is true. Hey, of course, as always, shout out to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get in on the action. Again, I cashed a nice prop there from the prop show. Justin Fields, anytime touchdown, right over on my bookie. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using that sweet cryptocurrency. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. That's right, Rhythm. They've introduced the leaderboard with weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, and you could win $1,000. All right, let's see. What do we, you know what? I'll save it because when we talk Monday Night Props, I have a prop that Rhythm suggested that I like. So stay tuned.
Okay, save it.
Of course, get in on your 7-day free trial, start building your own props, or just tail there. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. sportsgamblingpodcast.com RITHMM. I'm laughing at Esteban in the chat. Scournick Super Bowl MVP. Give me those odds. Yeah, we definitely had some Scournick anytime touchdown. He's been hanging around. I don't think he's a horrible receiver either. So good to see Scournick getting into the end zone.
And just to confirm what I said earlier, 1967, the last time the Bills came back from 14 plus in the fourth quarter.
Insane.
Yeah, wild.
Indianapolis Colts 33, Miami Dolphins 8. Wow. I'll take credit for this disaster. I locked up Miami. We had Miami Dolphins in one of our survivor entries, got cute. Dolphins got their ass kicked. I've talked a bunch of shit on the Colts in the offseason. I was very skeptical of Daniel Jones as a quarterback. He still threw a couple passes that went right in the defender's hands. So yes, it's a long season. I'm still a bit skeptical of Daniel Jones, but of course, hats off to him. They played a very good game. They kicked the Dolphins' ass, and any sort of like upside variance potentially for this Dolphins team completely out the window. Tua was just horrific. Like his turnovers were super, just horrible. I don't know what else to say. Tyreek Hill throwing tantrums. It was just everything that could have gone wrong for this team did. They were a complete and utter disgrace.
I mean, I kind of touched on the idea that I felt like this game had insanely high variance because some of the outcomes are that the Dolphins are what people were saying, and that's like very, very fragile because the locker room is not together. They don't believe in the coach. We saw that in the preseason with some of the press conferences. And, quite frankly, I think I said it on this show or on the VSiN show, but the way that this bet ends up looking stupid is that the Colts have a good offensive and defensive line. And that essentially they won the game because their offensive line was able to control the ball, control the situation. Now, those saying that Daniel Jones played a great game. Daniel Jones did have a nice game, but he also had I don't know. I didn't look up the turnover worthy plays, but he made, a half dozen of the same types of bad throws, and the Dolphins just weren't able to convert. Jonathan Taylor, solid. But I think the story here probably is more that the Dolphins are a train wreck, and some of the internet doctors, they went back and they looked at that hit Tua took, and essentially, did he maybe get another concussion, Sean?
Geez,
Quinn Ewers got some time there at the end. Your rookie of the year bet is very fucking interesting because we know that this system has had, moments of looking good, putting up big scoring days. So I don't know the Dolphins are probably in the pass for me, bro, for a bit, but I don't know what to do with the Colts now because it seems like it's like a train that at some point, there's a gap in the tracks. You just don't know where that gap is. And Steichen saved his, like, certainly if this was a loser leaves town, like first coach fired battle, Mike McDaniel's cooked.
Yeah, he is. He's certainly, and as we know, if a team underperforms the spread by 21 points and they're getting points the following week, that is a close your eyes special. So Dolphins could be eligible. Now they're opened up as like a 1.5 point favorite against the Patriots. So we'll see if that lasts.
And real quick, congratulations to the Colts. They were a winning pleaser leg.
Yeah, shout out to them. Let's see. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars 26, Panthers 10. Jags just looked really good. There was like a long rain delay. My Tank Bigsby takes didn't look great, but Travis Etienne, he had like a huge run and then looked pretty good. Trevor Lawrence, 19 to 31, 178, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I thought Jags took care of business. Nice win for them at home. Kramer, you had them as one of your locks. We had them on the circuit card because we didn't. We should have. It was one of your locks, so congrats on that. And I would say, yeah,
Mush and I played it in Survivor as well.
Oh, nice. Good play there. Yeah, my take on the Jags was like, hey, nice win, good win. The skepticism I did have around the Panthers made me more skeptical. Bryce Young still looking pretty tiny out there. Their offensive line struggled a little bit. That was, yeah. I mean, I wish I would have made more money on this game because as soon as it started playing out, you're like, yeah, they're not going to be able to move the ball against this Jags D line. So, and Bryce Young had a couple bad picks too. So, and like just sailed the ball on 4th down. His receivers weren't helping him out. Couldn't get the run game going. Kramer, you're pretty high on jagging off, huh?
On the Jag wagon, as I mentioned earlier on social, I rock hard. I didn't mention it earlier on the show, but the hand pay was with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I would say that for a first game in a new offensive system with Trevor Lawrence, this was more than just like, hey, that was good. This was like, oh, okay, they're going to build on this. This is game 1 of a new offensive system. I thought the Travis Hunter is going to be interesting. Brian Thomas was doing Brian Thomas things. I think the running back by committee is going to be fun to watch. And then the defense, that's where it's tough, right? The offensive line of Carolina was banged up. Bryce Young is Bryce Young. Hard to know if they're any good, but Jags also a cashed pleaser leg, Sean. So one game into the season, my Jags Bucks exacta is looking very nice.
Yes. Shout out to Bronx Cobra in the chat. Shout out to Kramer. I met at Circa on Friday before the VSiN show. Rocked the SGP hat at Stadium Swim earlier today. And yeah, shout out to all the listeners. Ran into a bunch, gave out a bunch of hats, lighters. Anytime you're coming out, always good time to hit us up after the Friday night VSiN show, 7 to 10 o'clock locally. Always down to hang out.
Sean, we even bumped into a mom of a listener.
Oh, yes.
Shout out to Diego.
Diego, you the man. And your mom was hanging out.
Yeah. That's a cool ass mom. Going to the Circa to say what's up, to stay, like, basically was hanging outside the VSiN studio, caught me in a break. We were letting someone in the studio, and so very, very cool. Diego, who's attending Iowa State, if I remember correctly.
Dick Puncher saying Jags underwhelming considering how bad Bryce Young looked on the other side. Yeah, I guess that's why I wouldn't fully jag off on them. They
dominated a game with a weird weather break, and the Panthers never had a shot. So I mean, you can say underwhelming. Sure, if this is underwhelming, let's fucking go.
Cincinnati Bengals 17, Cleveland Browns 16. Got the cash there on the cover for the Browns. One of Kramer's locks. Was also bet some money on that. And should the Browns have won this game? Oh man, they had a million opportunities to, missed an extra point. This was kind of just what we see from this Bengals team. All the stuff we nailed about them and the slow starts. Their issues. I guess their defense played maybe better than, I don't know. It felt like the Browns were still able to move the ball pretty well.
Flacco smashed the passing prop I gave out on the prop show of 235.5. He went for
290.
They in general, I think, they lost because of drops and the receivers. Flacco was great. the running game was great. I mean, if you drafted Dylan Sampson, I mean, what, he 8 catches.
Yeah, well,
You know,
the pure running game, Dylan Sampson was good, but the running game itself, I think, was a big issue too, because Dylan Sampson 12 carries, 29 yards.
they didn't have their starter. None of those guys they view as a bell cow, and now they get Junkins back next week. We think, even though there's a suspension looming, which would be a definite upgrade. And if you didn't bet, like, so weeks ago when we did the VSiN show, Sean, I said, you know what, I'm just going to bet the Browns now. I don't want this price to move and feel stupid, because in hindsight and looking forward, it was the clear easiest bet on the board. I mean, it's like, this is the most obvious thing that's going to happen. Now, the Bengals getting the lucky win because there was multiple kicks missed. Okay. Well, real quick, kickers shouldn't wear numbers that start with 2. It makes you look like a positional player, which makes me think the kicker got hurt, which makes me think that I'm getting screwed because the kicker got hurt. So please don't do that. Did you intend to skip the Giants game, or was that?
No.
Okay.
We can get to the Giants game next. And as Terrell says, none of the Flacco picks were his fault. You know, Ryan,
Totally
I think because on the sheet we grade wins in green and losses in red. I just was going from green on the Jags and just skipping over this game where I was told the Giants were only a quarterback away. Still a quarterback away, it appears. They lost 21-6. Was expecting a little bit more from the defensive line, although it's not like the Washington offense looked amazing. This was just an ugly game, and the Giants offense still is very bad. Kramer, when's Jackson Dart? There were calls for Jackson Dart to come in at the second half. How long are we going to deal with Russ here? Russ looked pretty bad, if I'm being honest.
Not to defend Russ, but the offensive line, he was pressured on 50% of his dropbacks, which, as you know, Sean, as a football guy, that's almost impossible. And I'd say this. I'd say first person to blame is the Giants front office and management for doing the same thing they do every year, which is acting like something's going to be ready for week 1 that's obviously not going to be ready for week 1, and having a shit backup plan once again. They even have guys on the roster that would have been maybe a better option in this game. The left tackle situation is bad. So the direct answer to your question is, if you're going to bring him in, Andrew Thomas has to be out there. You can't put him into this mess. Now maybe he comes back next week, or maybe Dable says, "Fuck it, I don't care." He didn't commit to Russ next week already.
Wow. They already asked him about Russ.
He said he kind of sidestepped it, but he had a chance to say Russ is our starter, and he didn't. He all preseason, Russ is our starter. Russ is our starter. He didn't do that. He wants Dable.
He wants the new pussy. Shout out to Daniel, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Daniel, 3 openers in a row without an offensive touchdown. And
that's good. What, you're an advanced analytics guy? Look at you, your fucking numbers.
Are you talking to me or Daniel?
I'm talking to Daniel.
Oh, okay. For a guy who's supposed to be an offensive-minded head coach, he's not helping this offense.
Yeah, I would, like I said, front office first to blame. Second to blame is the offensive line for wrecking the game, and third is the play calling. No idea what. I mean, give me the sticks on Madden. I'll do a better job.
Ryan, if you missed it, what was it on the props of the pick show? Was highly rated on the on Madden. We went down memory lane. Raiders 20, New England Patriots 13. Get the win, get the cover. Played them on the money line here at Circa. Yeah, you want to talk about stuff where I felt good about my takes on these teams after the game. Yeah, I think this Patriots team, I mean, I don't think they're that good. The roster is incredibly thin. And Drake May, he made some high-level throws, but he also made some boneheaded throws. He struggled with some accuracy stuff. And the Raiders, do I think the Raiders are amazing? No, but this is a nice win. New offense on the road. Gino threw for 362, which is kind of crazy. Ashton Jeanty didn't do much on the ground. Brock Bowers, 5 for 103. I saw he got hurt. We'll see how serious that is. But Yeah, kind of. I think this is the type of game this Raiders team can win. An inferior opponent as a small favorite, small dog. We'll see how they do when they got to step up in competition, because I do think they have some issues as a team. But if I was concerned about like, oh, maybe I'm off on this Pats team, didn't see it. And also you forget how everyone likes Mike Vrabel, myself included, but also how comically conservative he is at times. What they were down, I think they were like down 10 with like, what was it, 4 minutes left or something?
And he punted.
Punting? Or no, it was like they were down, whatever it was a crazy time to punt for Mike Vrabel. I'm sure it's one of the more cowardly punts out there. But yeah, I mean, Raiders were a smash.
Another game that I've been talking about how much I loved all summer since it opened at 3. I mean, this is exactly what you're going to get from a Pete Carroll. Like, Pete Carroll shows up with Geno Smith. The offense kind of looked like a Chip Kelly offense. I think good thing they didn't trade Jacoby Myers. He was a huge part of the offense. Michael Mayer stepped up nicely when Bowers got hurt, who, by the way, they claim he could have come back in the game. So,
okay.
Whatever that means. And, Gene T had a little bit of success, but I actually think I'll say that the Patriots defense, because I think the Raiders offense will be competent. And I think without Christian Gonzalez, which we all know how much a lockdown corner can change a defense, without Christian Gonzalez, I thought this team did okay. They obviously did well against the run. It's the offense. It's the offensive side of the ball. I think it's a combination of, poor play calling, not trying to make it easier for Drake May. And clearly Drake May has some of the same yips as we've seen before from these quarterbacks that just airmail the ball. Like the bad throws are the kind of bad throws that turn into interceptions. It's not like it's too low. It's going to, be a little, thrown into the dirt. It's oh my God, like that's going to get tipped and intercepted.
Yeah. We'll see where this, I mean, this is the Dolphins Patriots game next week is going to be interesting to say the least. Next up, we got the Arizona Cardinals 20-13, get the win, get the cover. Although if you had them in Survivor, if you had them laying the 6.5, that was, it got sweaty there at the end. Rattler drove them down, had some shots into the end zone. The receiver got both hands on it, couldn't pull it down. Kyler was yakking up pregame. So, hey, you go on the road, you beat the inferior team, you win, you get the cover. That being said, there wasn't I mean,
came down to the wire, Sean. They dropped the pass at the end of the game in the end zone, or another kind of Survivor sweat. I thought, considering he was clear, imagine playing Arizona in Survivor and then the 1 a.m. Pacific Shefty bomb comes out that Kyler is sick, but he doesn't carry an injury. I don't even understand what that means. How does someone pop up on the injury report with an illness but not have a designation? It seems like over reporting. But I mean, look, Kyler, a couple things. One, we said smash the rushing yards. It was in the mid-20s, I believe. 7 for 38. He's going to run more this year. And he was feeling sick. 2, the backfield being a 1A, 1B, that seems true as well. Trey Benson looked pretty good, 8 for 69 versus Connor's 12 for 39. He's still the bruiser. And, I thought, I think, these games are weird. I'll give the Saints some credit. They looked scrappy. They look like they're going to be scrappy. They have a defensive line. They're going to be scrappy at times, but the Cardinals did what they often haven't done in the past. And that's a sign of a good team, is taking care of business on the road against a bad team and covering. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. And Trevor, who's a Cardinals fan, saying, yikes, same fucking Cardinals. The amount of times I said, look at that tot go. Lot of scampering. Yeah, it's easy to look past these games or not play your best game where everyone's going, oh, of course the Cardinals are going to win. Saints are the worst team. And it could go both ways, Kramer. We're like, the Saints, this is kind of their get up spot. Everyone's talking shit on them the entire season. That might have been the Saints' best effort. We'll see. I'm still skeptical of them roster wise, but there were a couple bright spots. It wasn't like a complete unmitigated disaster.
And I believe, Sean, we, in our Survivor map, or mapped out Survivor,
I
believe we now go on a stretch where we fade the Cardinals 3 weeks in a row.
Saints, you mean?
Sorry, the Saints 3 weeks in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think our next survivor play is going to be the 49ers at the Saints coming up there in NFL Week 2.
Well, I was just going to say, in fact, we're about to go on a stretch, Sean, where we will be fading the Titans and Saints all the way till week 7, I think.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of the NFC South, Tampa Bay Bucks 23, Atlanta Falcons 20. You were on the Bucks, Ryan. I was on the Falcons. Michael Penix, I did give out some of his, I think his passing yards on the prop show. I thought he played a really good game. I also gave out his first touchdown bet on VSiN, and that was he didn't get the first touchdown, but he did get a rushing touchdown. I'm pissed at myself for not also playing the anytime touchdown there. I thought the Falcons defense, for the most part, played a really good game. I mean, shout out to Abuka, who I thought, all right, rookie receiver, we'll see what he does week 1. And obviously 2 touchdowns, 1 huge late. And Younghoe Koo, fuck off. Brian, get the locker ready. Put Younghoe Koo in there.
Sean, they're not
equipment shed that Mike Leach supposedly put that one kid in back in the day. That's Younghoe Koo. Remember when we did the team preview and I was laughing about how they were trying to say Younghoe Koo is a glue guy and he was a little hurt last year and, oh, it's going to be different now. No, it's not. Fuck you. Get a real kicker. You're in a dome. You had a chance to send this game to overtime and against a divisional opponent at home and you missed that kick. God, so frustrating because I thought the Falcons for the most part played a pretty good game. Now, obviously they didn't do enough to get it done, and hats off to the Bucs for going on the road without Wirfs and getting a nice victory as a road favorite against a division dog. So, yeah, my big takeaway is I'm still cautiously optimistic about the Falcons, and Younghoe Koo, fuck off.
Godwin, who is not on the pup, will be back in the next couple of weeks, apparently. Because, like this offense is going to, as Wirfs comes back, as Godwin comes back, and McMillan comes back halfway through the season. This is going to be a very, very interesting attack, and I'll be curious to see how the Falcons defense looks next week because I kind of feel like I'm a little wrong on them. Like they did some things today, but I'll go real quick on Penix. I thought not that he made Drake May like throws, but he also made some. He sails it sometimes.
I guess, but I thought he was a couple inaccurate, but I mean, he threw for almost 300 yards. He made some plays with his legs. I thought he carried himself as a leader out there. It's clear like the other guys respect him. They did get Kyle Pitts going in that game. So I actually think there's some positives, and I like what I saw out of Penix.
Certainly. I think it's an NFC South game though, so there is an element of like let's see how these teams play outside the division when it's not going to be some crazy ass back and forth shootout. But again, great start for my Jags Bucks exacta.
Denver Broncos, also great start for my Eagles over Broncos in the Super Bowl because both teams are 1-0, tied for AFC and NFC number 1 seeds. The Broncos get it done 20-12. If you played along when we picked on the show, you got the win at 7.5. But tough times for the Bo Leavers out there. Bo Nix looked really bad. He was clearly pressing in the first half, especially. I thought Sean Payton, again, who I consider for the most part a pretty good head coach. The end of game sequence there was bizarre. So if you missed it, it was like 4th and 9. They have the ball on it would have been a 53-yard field goal. I think like 4th and 9, 53-yard field goal. They're up by 8. So if you bet it late and you had 8.5 or 9, you were a little nervous. You wanted them to kick the field goal, or there also is a good case of like, hey, this is a rookie quarterback on the road. Why don't we punt it to him, make him drive down and beat us? So maybe take a delay game. And sorry, it wasn't 4th and I think it was over 4th and 9, but they did try and draw him off. Then they called a timeout. Then they walked out there and they ran a play on 4th and 1, like as time's expiring on the play clock. Bo Nix is like backpedaling. He has 2 guys wide open. Marvin Mims, he just chucks it up to him, misses the throw. It makes no sense. And now the Titans take over with a decent amount of time, like plenty of time to drive down the field. Cam Ward, though, he's a rookie. He's still pretty inaccurate. But, they couldn't get it done there. Didn't do a ton on offense. 12 of 28, 112 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Bo Nix, though, 2 interceptions. And there was like a muff punt as well. Like the Broncos were pretty sloppy. And so I think if you're optimistic still about the Broncos, maybe you say, hey, they've been, reading their press clippings all off season, a lot of hype, a lot of potential, and maybe overlooked an inferior opponent or were pressing. I do think that the Broncos defense overall played a pretty damn good game. And considering the turnover differential and everything, I think they're fortunate to get out of there with a win and a cover, depending on when you bet it. But yeah, certainly bad look for Bo Nix, I think, would be the takeaway.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think, this is not the same as the Cardinals Saints game. Like that was a road game. There was, it's, always a little weird road spot. This is a home game against a rookie making his first start. And, frankly, the Titans, they convert a touchdown, and this is we're having a different conversation right now. I certainly thought the Titans seemed pretty well coached. I think the anti-Brian Callahan takes, at least for one game, he better coach than Sean Payton in this one for sure. And as far as the Bo Nix stuff, I mean, this is kind of what I was talking about before the season. What is Bo Nix going to be? Is he going to take that big step forward, or perhaps he could be more like CJ Stroud and stay in neutral or even take a step back? Now, he threw the ball with confidence. But I don't know. I think this is another game or team that I want to see how they look in the next couple of weeks, because I think the Titans are going to look bad. Like the way that Cam Ward was playing, he's not going to be let off the hook. In some ways, the Broncos kind of let him off the hook, and there were some opportunities. But 6 different guys on the Broncos got sacks. That seems like what the most impressive thing for the Titans was? Pollard. I thought Pollard looked back. I thought Pollard looked healthy, and I thought the offensive line at times was run blocking well. But yeah, I'd be worried if I was the Broncos high ceiling outcome stuff. Like I'm a little worried right now after one game.
Pollard 18 for 60. I thought RJ Harvey looked good. He had that one long run, 6 for 70. I think the Titans defensive line probably better than I was giving them credit for, and their defense in general I thought played pretty well.
That's the part I want to see. I want to see if it was the Denver offense, having just early season struggles, or that the Titans defense is actually coming to play this year.
Seattle 13, 49ers 17. Oh, and what a horrible ending being on Seattle. Sam Darnold drives them down, then just fumbles to end the game there. And it was a lot of the same same issues for the 49ers. Injury issues with the kicking game. Kittle, he was out for did he pull it pregame or was it early?
No, he was playing and then he
pulled it. Yeah, he had a hamstring issue. He was on the sideline for most of the game. Then the backup tight end, who was not on my radar at all, came in and saved the day. I mean, Brock Purdy just pulled that rabbit out of his ass and just chucked the ball up on 4th down. Jake Tonges with the touchdown catch.
I think it's Tongs.
Tongs?
I don't know.
No, it's not Tongs. It's Tonges or something like that.
5.3 yards per play to 4.6. Seattle only had the ball for 22 minutes. Obviously, long drives with block kicks and stuff will do that, but like this, when I looked at the box score of this game, outgained 384 to 230. I think this might be a Fugazi final score. I think that my takeaway here is that the Seahawks aren't that good. Like they did some things fine. It was good to see that Charbonnet and Walker are actually in a committee. That was something we kind of leaned into. But outside of JSN, They got nothing in the passing game, and Darnold doesn't look as crisp as he did his early season with Vikings. So,
yeah.
As much as I don't necessarily think I'm upgrading the Niners because they still were, the roster's thin, guys are getting hurt, Brock Purdy's throwing picks, but they certainly dominated this game.
I mean, you intercept Brock Purdy twice, you block a field goal, and they miss a field goal. Like what was Moody? I'm trying to pull up his stats, but he had a horrible game. How is he still their kicker? Again, this is
oh my gosh. If you didn't see the Shanahan after he missed or the second one got blocked, he was losing his mind. Jake Moody was 1 for 3 on field goals. And I think he missed an extra point too, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to pull it up, but
you cut him? Is that cut worthy?
Well, Jake Moody to have future evaluated by 49ers Kyle Shanahan.
Oh. That sounds like someone's getting cut.
He's going to get on the plane and evaluate.
He's going to leave him. He's going to leave him in Seattle, I think. Right?
He's lucky he got on the plane. And this is the problem. You draft kickers and then you're like stuck with them for some reason.
That's why you don't draft kickers. You can sign one as a free agent.
Packers 27, Lions 13. Ryan, your hate for Jordan Love unwarranted. He played very well. Unfortunately for us, I think the Lions had a shot there. Lions offense didn't really they never really clicked. It's like you kept thinking maybe they're going to get it going. Maybe their offensive line didn't do a great job of protecting Goff. They couldn't get the run game going. I mean, David Montgomery's their leading rusher and he had 25 yards. So this makes me feel good about the Bears tomorrow night because maybe Ben Johnson knew what he was doing. The Lions offense looked pretty lost. Their defense had some moments. Obviously, I think getting some pressure there on Jordan Love at times, but Jordan Love had a very good game. Micah Parsons was flying around. I don't think he got a sack, but
he got a sack.
He
did rollout. Yeah,
I missed that.
Goff rolled out. 5.7 to 3.8 yards per play in this one. Pretty dominant performance. Is it the offense of Dan Campbell said after the game that they're built for this. They're used to being knocked down in the trenches and having to get back up. Was it the defense for the Packers or was it the offense for the Lions?
Yeah, I don't know. The offense didn't look very inspiring. Sam Laporta had a big game, but yeah,
they held the ball. They held the ball for 35 minutes in this game. You don't often see a team dominate a game and only have the ball for 24 minutes. So certainly a good start for the Packers. Are they a Super Bowl contender? Maybe I have to reevaluate my take.
Packers?
After 1 week, I have to reevaluate my take.
Yeah, if we're doing rapid reactions, Super Bowl bound, Green Bay Packers. I did have them going to the NFC Championship game and losing to the Philadelphia Eagles.
My issue is Jordan Love is still going to make he's going to make in a tight game. He's still going to one of his patented overthrow interceptions is still going to pop up. That's my hate coming out.
Rams 14, Texans 9. This was probably one of the worst games of the week. I mean, CJ Stroud continues to kind of struggle with accuracy. Their offensive line, even as a guy who was on the Texans, that was one of my concerns was, hey, this offensive line against this Rams defensive line. But, it's also like they had a chance there driving late to put this game away. And obviously they didn't get it done, but the 49ers the Rams. Yeah. Stafford made some nice throws. They were able to move the ball a little bit. Puka Nacua, who was all over Offensive Player of the Year, high on him in fantasy, 10 catches, 130 yards, which is kind of, to have that game and to only get 14 points is kind of interesting here. But yeah, I would say no major takeaways for me. Like this Texans defense is good enough to keep them in a bunch of games.
You missed one key stat with Puka. He left the game for a little bit. So,
oh, really? I missed that.
Yeah. He's doing Puka things.
Didn't slow him down.
No. Just listen to this. This is the outcome of every drive in the game. punt, field goal, punt, field goal, touchdown, interception, punt, fumble, end of game.
I mean, that's what it felt like.
I mean, another one that, well, if you watch the pick show, I this almost made the lock. This was like lock number 4 if we were going to have a fourth lock. Another one I've been talking about all summer, and fortunately Stafford out there, like I kind of handicapped it. Stafford's out there. I like this team, and I think their offensive struggles is more about the Texans have a good defense. I don't know how good the Rams defense is, and I think it might be more CJ Stroud in that offensive. Just who else is he in the passing game? Like, there's no one to pass to. This is what we talked about in the like, there's nothing out there, and I don't know. CJ Stroud, I think we ran a little, well, not we, but I think some people ran a little too quick to crown him his rookie year.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're still going to end up winning some games because of their schedule and because of how good their defense is. So,
you know what? They took Nico Collins out of the game, and that was that. That was their offense. Nick Chubb, solid. Good to see him out there. But Nico, I think if you play the Texans, you just take Nico Collins out of the game, and that's that.
Yeah.
Until
which is not the easiest thing to do. And CJ Stroud was running a lot, so rushing yards, rushing attempts, kind of interesting there. All right, we're going to talk favorite props. Before we do, of course, shout out to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN, where you can play $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you use that code SGPN. We're going to discuss one of the we'll give out an underdog entry here, maybe as part of the next segment coming up, and I'm stalling because I wanted to point out, yes, speaking of, Kyler Murray, higher 34.5 rushing yards. Puka Nacua, higher 73.5 receiving yards. Gave that out on the show, and that was a smash. So Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Since it's an exchange, you're getting some of the best prices in the market. Available in 35 states. If you're found yourself watching college football, NFL this week, you're like, oh man, I wish I had some more action. Novig, baby. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5. If you use our promo code SGPN, download it in the App Store, promo code SGPN. And Daniel Enderlein pointing out your Schultz call was good. That was our buddy man in the box, CJ Sullivan. So he was all over the Schultz angle, laddering it up. I'm trying to remember how
he only had 28 yards. I don't think he hit too many rungs.
Oh no, well the he had 3 catches, so he did go over his catches.
Yeah. All
right, Kramer. First prop here for the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings.
We were talking about this down at the book as we were cashing our just glorious Sunday night tickets, but Caleb Williams over 22.5 rushing yards. We're seeing quarterbacks running around more, which is obviously a good move. And you look to what Caleb Williams did last year, and he got over this number in more than half of his games. He's going to be playing Brian Flores' defense, which is certainly going to come after him with some pressure. And if I was a good offensive coordinator, I would say, hey, man, there's going to be times where they're playing man and they send a blitz. If you see a lane, just take it. So I think this is going to be a smash play. He runs way more than people give him credit for. 22.5 low. And he's going to have a line like Kyler. It's going to be like 6 carries, 35, 38 yards, and maybe a touchdown. Stay tuned.
Yes. Give me the touchdown. I like where you're at, Ryan. I was going to give it out 4.5 rushing attempts over, but you got to lay crazy juice and couldn't figure out like a good spot there. So give me the anytime touchdown, aka show me your TDs. Maybe we can get 2 TDs for Caleb Williams there, but Caleb Williams plus 480. I think he's going to be running around more, especially near in the red zone there. He had a bunch of rushing attempts last year, got really close to a couple rushing touchdowns, didn't get in. So I think it's kind of like he's also I think he's a bit due to get into the end zone there with the rushing touchdowns. And also their running backs are a bit banged up. So maybe he's going to feel the need to put the team on his back here a little bit. Kramer, what's another prop you like?
Number two, I think all off season we've been alluding to this, but it seems like Roma Dunze is the number one.
Yes.
And it seems like we don't know what DJ Moore is going to be. And the yards on Roma Dunze are at 50.5. I think no matter how this game works, like whether it's the Bears having, I think the Bears are going to have to move the ball through the air a little bit. And I like the matchup with Roma Dunze. I also, I was going through some of the coaches' press conferences for the picks preview, and I forget if it was the offensive coordinator or positional coach. He made a comment about the way that they're planning to use Rome in the vertical game. And so there could be a situation where there's a big catch in here and we're not having to work too hard. 4 catches for like 60, 70 yards seems pretty realistic. I'm not as high on Loveland and Komet. I think the Vikings defense does a pretty good job of taking that away. So yeah, I think they're going to put guys on an island. Roma Dunze, a big physical receiver, over 50.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I was going back between Cole Komet over 11.5 receiving yards. I know Rhythm likes that one as well. Now, certainly he's gone over that a bunch, but now you bring in Loveland. I'll go with you. And there's actually a 49.5 receiving yards, Ryan, because I like leaning into the angle.
I already bet
it. Leaning into the angle of Roma Dunze having a nice breakout year. And you look at the Vikings, as much glazing as Brian Flores and the Vikings defense gets, they were second in the league in yards allowed to the receivers last year. So you can carve the secondary up. And if you remember the last game at Soldier Field, Caleb Williams threw for a ton of yards on this Vikings defense. Kind of a crazy ass game, went to OT. They ended up losing. So I think revenge is on his mind. I think they're able to get Odunze going. So I like the over 49.5. I'm going to tail you on that, Ryan. And my final prop, give me JJ McCarthy under 221.5 passing yards. I think there's a number of ways this gets home. I think just look at some of the young and rookie quarterbacks, how they struggled here in week 1. I think this Bears defense is going to be pretty fired up. I can't imagine he's exactly locked in with Justin Jefferson, who missed a lot of time. Jordan Addison is obviously out for the game. They brought in Adam Thielen, who he didn't have any preseason action with him. I mean, Adam Thielen added him in pretty late, and I like playing Adam Thielen props, but it's baked into the pricing. I thought I was going to get maybe a steal of the crafty vet comes in and Adam Thielen, but his numbers are pretty high for a guy who just joined the team and is up there age wise. So I just think, and I don't think this is, as much as I like the Bears, I would be surprised if this is a complete blowout. So I don't think game script, he's going to get a lot of garbage yards. I think if the Vikings do have success offensively, I think they're going to be running the ball more. Ryan, you've been on this angle of, hey, their offense is going to be a little different. They might pound the rock here a little bit. Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones splitting carries. So I think if they do have success, it might come on the ground. So under 221.5 JJ McCarthy passing yards. Kramer?
All right, last one. I think another kind of theory that we had this offseason was that the Minnesota Vikings bulking up their offensive line, having JJ McCarthy, a guy who played for a college team that played defense and ran the ball, bringing in Jordan Mason, that maybe they're going to try to play a little bit more of a physical brand of football. And I wonder how many carries they're going to give Aaron Jones versus Jordan Mason. Aaron Jones's carries is at 12.5. I'm going to take the under. It's plus 110, Sean. We've seen a number of these backfields where it's like 1A, 1B. You look at Seattle, 12-8. You look at the Cardinals, I believe it was 8-10. And so in these split backfields, getting to 13 carries is pretty tricky. And it basically means, I think for him to get over, it probably means that they're dominating the game. But even then, I think they want to make Jordan Mason the between the tackles guy. So I'm going to go Aaron Jones under 12.5 carries plus 110.
Yeah, I could totally see that. And it does seem like it's truly going to be a split backfield there for them. Kramer, we'll talk a little first TDs. Do you want to put together a little underdog entry? What do you
let's do it?
We'll switch gears and go fantasy projections here. We like the Adunze stuff. We like Caleb rushing.
I think we should recycle here.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Caleb rushing yards is going in a lot of stuff that I'm doing. So why don't we start there?
Okay. 20 now underdog has it 24.5.
No, okay.
Take the higher there. Now we'll need something on the Minnesota side to balance things out. What do you like in the Minnesota side, Kramer?
I mean, do we want to play something with Naylor? He's going to be the second outside receiver. Like the idea that he's a guy that I was looking at for the same game in terms of reverse correlation, under 1.5 catches, over 17.5 yards or something like that. I just think that he's going to be singled up, and we've seen this Viking team too often go to the other guy on like a deeper kind of down the field play. Do you want to get cute with a Naylor angle over yards? If not,
I don't know. I guess I'm worried because they might just give all that stuff to Thielen. That's why I want to.
No. Thielen's going to play the slot. Naylor plays on the outside.
So you think you?
We don't have to play it. I'm just saying, like, I think it's one catch. But let's what else do you want to play? Let's you want to do a Mason angle? Mason anytime is a juicy price. I think he's the goal line back.
Jordan Mason
or the rushing yards on him.
Yeah, they don't have his higher lower
coward. What do they have for Aaron Jones?
Aaron Jones. Oh, so they do have his rushing yards is 41.5
for Mason.
Yeah, 49.5 for Aaron Jones.
See, that's crazy. I would take, like, I like the under for carries for Jones. I obviously like the under there, or the lower. But I if we want to do something different. Or let's just take your JJ play. I don't hate that.
Okay. Oh, thank you. What a compliment.
He's got to show. We got to see it. We got to see it from him.
So yeah, this is a pretty simple one. Caleb Williams higher 24.5 rushing yards. JJ McCarthy lower 221.5 passing yards. $100 entry will return you $300 over on Underdog Fantasy. Kramer, let's kick it over to the. Show me your TDs. What are you doing in the first TD market?
All right, so it's a quarterbacks and tight ends kind of night. Backup tight ends were the plan, but Cole Kmet's price was not very good, and so I pivoted because Colston Loveland's price was pretty good, and I do think he's going to be a dynamic red zone. That he's 30-1. Caleb Williams is 20-1, and then on the other side of the ball, we're going to do JJ McCarthy at 26-1. And Josh Allen, our old friend, so 60-1 again. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean, you got to play Josh Allen 60-1. Caleb Williams, 20-1.
Yeah, that's easy.
I like the anytime. I got to play the first as well there. And this I saw no defensive or special team touchdowns so far. I think that streak could come to an end Monday night, Ryan. Give me Bears defense, not defense and special teams, but Bears defense priced at 40-1 to get it done in the first touchdown market.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, on a heater, so hopefully we continue.
Let's go. Kramer, what else you got for the audience?
I got a little parlay. I cooked up a parlay that I broke up. So I actually have a couple parlays for the people. If they don't want to be as risky. So it's basic reverse correlation. I'm not doing alt numbers. So just taking the standard numbers. One, I already talked about Aaron Jones in the running game, but we love this angle always with Aaron Jones. Give me the under for receptions at 2.5, but the over for yards at 17.5.
Okay.
That's going to pay 7-1. Another one I like on the Vikings is it's the opposite though. I like the over 3.5 catches for Thielen. Sean, I went back and looked. He very quickly assimilated into the Panthers offense, and he's going to be playing the slot. I know I'm high on TJ Hawkinson to catch a lot of those check down plays, but what if it's Adam Thielen? What if Thielen's the guy that's getting the catches? And remember when we saw that picture posted of JJ McCarthy working out with Adam Thielen before he was on the team? So I'm going over 3.5 receptions, but under 32.5 yards. I think they're going to be all low A dot stuff. And I could totally see him having a line of like 5 catches for 30 yards. So I'm going to play, and that one's plus 1088. So if you're worried about doing something crazy, you can keep them separate. But if you put those together, so Adam Thielen under 32.5 yards, Adam Thielen over 3.5 receptions, Aaron Jones over 17.5 receiving yards, and Aaron Jones under 2.5 receptions, that pays 121 to 1.
It's electric, Ryan.
That didn't see. You didn't mean that. That doesn't sound like
no. That's
electric.
Yeah. I I like where your head's at. All right, for me, this is going to be trotting out because it could be, Ryan. It could be a tight end bonanza. Let's go to our backup friends. Josh Oliver, anytime touchdown. Cole Kmet, anytime touchdown. And Bears on the money line. That gets you to plus 9,855. Josh Oliver gets in the end zone. Cole Kmet gets in the end zone. And the Bears win 100 to 1. Essentially 100 to 1.
I like that.
I try and keep it as simple as possible.
Now let me just ask you, how much of a difference is it if you make it Colston Loveland?
Colston Loveland instead of Cole Kmet?
Yeah, I don't want you to change your bet. I'm just curious. It doesn't adjust it that much, correct?
Let's see. Colston Loveland. Yes, it actually adjusts it by a big margin.
Okay.
Colston Loveland gets you down to 69-64.
Okay.
And you like Loveland better?
Just some stuff I've read. But I mean, I liked, like I said, I liked Kmet, but when I was expecting a price closer to like 40, 50 to 1. But yeah, I just don't know what they're going to do with him. I'm confused.
Yeah, we'll see. I think, the idea is, hey, get the rookie going, but I wouldn't be surprised. He has some chemistry already with Cole Kmet, so that's what I'm leaning into. Hey, great times, everyone. Appreciate you spreading the word. Numbers have been great. You guys are doing an awesome job telling a buddy, telling a friend, hitting the group text with links to the show. That really is awesome, and it was great to meet a lot of you listeners and viewers out here in Vegas. We'll be back here in Vegas Friday night, every Friday night, doing the VSiN show. Gave out a bunch of hats and gears and lighters, and it was awesome. So thank you guys as always. And Spotify, any comments to the show, questions, shout out to that one guy who was already complaining. I'll make fun of you if you're a complainer, but questions, comments, hit us up over on Spotify. Toss us 5 stars. Appreciate it. And we will be back live on the YouTube channel after Monday Night Football, talking Thursday night props. Anything else, Kramer?
Yeah, I mean, we got a full week of shows. We're in the hunt, and the schedule is nice and standard like that. And yeah, you mentioned that everyone's doing a good job, but just like football teams, it's only week 1. We must do better. So whatever you've done in the past no longer matters. Let's not get caught staring in the rear view, and make sure that we are going to Apple stores and subscribing. And
yes,
we're going to family members' houses. I haven't seen enough people sending us pictures of subscribing to random computers, to our podcast, our YouTube channel. So yeah, let's get it going. Come on, guys, get out of the rear view. Look forward.
Appreciate it, everyone. YouTube.com/Sports Gambling Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Sean, on to week 2.
Kramer, let it ride.